Welcome back to Now TV. I'm gonna continue reading from page 30, where I left it off at to continue. Now you do guys realize that it's 200 pages, and I'm hoping to find other people that'll enjoy sharing the work of reading with me from most of my stuff. Um, One of the biggest reasons I'm going to do this reading is because most people won't read because they're all following these old-fashioned, outdated Hollywood rules. I'm trying to impress something upon everyone about this one thing. When you write movies as big as I have written, you come after me. You chase me. You want me. You're sending me stuff in the mail. I don't go begging. I don't go crawling. I don't go pleading. I don't go after you. Right? These are top-notch movies, the best movies of the decade. I am number one, and that is the respect that I demand and require. And the best way to prove that that's what that is by sharing the work. Maybe not the whole thing, but enough to captivate enough people so that they know what's going on. Their imaginations have picked up and they can follow through with their own imagery and get excited. And then the fans can demand wanting the books or better, wanting the movies. We have two options now because of where Tom's career is at and how good I am at mine and what I've written. I can drive on either side, TV or movie. So we could possibly make the Smallville movie a Hollywood mainstream movie, which would solve the problem for how big the script is. I don't want to cut anything out. So without further ado, Martha is noticing the change in her husband from the time where I wrote To Be Continued, where he ran up the stairs to his room to go somewhere. Martha noticed quickly how her husband suddenly lost his focus on what he was doing, what his plans were for the immediate present of the work ahead on the farm for him, to suddenly stopping dead in his tracks and drop everything he was doing, including what was in his hands, by putting it down. She was quick to follow after her husband by way of seeing the TV on and the news airing. She saw a caption on the screen, but couldn't connect his response. So shrugging her shoulders, she chased after him up the stairs. She clearly heard him escape too. Once standing at the doorway of their bedroom, she stopped to observe him ripping through their bedroom like a hurricane. He was in the closet, pulling out suitcases and carry luggage and taking things down that were hanging on the clothing rods and opening drawers in the dresser and taking stuff off the top of the dresser, scurrying to and from their bathroom and putting everything on their bed. As she watched this all, she found the words she was looking for and quickly said, "What in God's name are you doing, Jonathan? What's the matter with you? We were just talking together 1 minute as you were traveling from one room to the other about our plans and work ahead for the day on the farm. And then poof, it all just exploded. And now you're here in the room making a mess of everything. Please tell me what you saw and heard on the TV that's made you this way so instantaneously," Jonathan said. Jesse. The news was airing a story on the crisis of our children's hospitals, not just here in the U.S., but around the world, overflowing with children who have cancer and are fighting their best fight and are dying from it. And this led to them sharing the story of this one little girl who died from her battle with cancer. And they mentioned her name and age, and it was like being slapped in the face, punched in the heart, hit on the head. The little girl's name was Jessie, and she was 10 years old too at the time of her death. I realized in that time how many years it's been, how long I've gone without visiting her grave and leaving something on her headstone. I could feel her spirit using the story to get my attention, to call to me, to reach my heart and soul. I made her a promise back when we were those young kids that I would continue to visit her yearly, no matter where I was in the world in my life or how old I was. And I've broken that promise with her, Martha. Now I understand to be reasonable as adults, life changes, priorities and family life changes, and sometimes it makes some promises from our younger life not so possible to uphold. But I knew what I was guilty of as soon as I finished hearing the story, that I've been away too long, that the length of time I've taken away from visiting her has been unfair, not right for my duties of love and respect and honor and memory of her life and our relationship. She's trying to tell me something, Martha. She's got an update to give me, but I never ever received those updates. I never finished receiving or hearing and understanding those full messages unless I'm there in person visiting with her. So I must go. I have to go. I have to finish answering the call she's made to me today through the airing of the story of children with cancer crisis. I might be much older and living well, but the matter of fact of it all is that children with cancer hasn't stopped. The battle has never ended since I was a young boy, finding his first love and girlfriend who was one of those kids battling this dreaded disease. And to now, after such a time away from thinking about it and being pressed about it, to hear the news tell me that we, as people, that life on this earth, that doctors and medicine and the children with cancer still today are losing the battle. We are losing the fight against it. And maybe my being happy with a life and family of my own, separating myself from her and those promised and cherished visits, plays some indirect cause, part, and consequence of the failing fight over our times now regarding children with cancer, which that led to this news story being aired on TV that I just watched downstairs a few moments ago. I need to find out what the rest of the message and purpose of what I just saw and heard downstairs is all about. What do I tell Clark? Martha says. Jonathan. Oh, yeah, about that. You have to call him and ask him to come spend a few days with you here to help you on the farm. I know what you're thinking, Martha. He doesn't know anything about Jesse or that time of my life. There's lots we've never told him, so instead of creating more stress and confusion, the better way to go would be to say as little as possible, as little as you can. Just tell him I have gone on a short trip regarding urgent financial and land matters or something. Martha cuts him off. Jonathan, that would be lying to our son. Honestly, you're a full-grown man. I thought you knew better than that by now. You're right. We haven't talked to him about Jessie because you stopped taking your yearly trips to England to visit her grave shortly after we brought Clark home and began to raise him. There is much he doesn't know, and I've gone along with the silence through all these years because I love you and I'm your wife, and I'm trying to find a way to support you. But he's an adult, a full-grown man now, and still he doesn't know these vital parts and times of your past. Now put yourself in his shoes. How would you feel about growing up being left out in the cold, left in the dark about these matters? Almost a betrayal, like he isn't your son or our child, like he isn't really a part of your family, your life, and the one we've built together. You need to do something more about it. You have to rectify the time past and the silence of it all we've lived in around him about it. Jonathan says, I will, Martha. I promise, I will. But just not now. Not today. I'm too busy today, right now. I have to pack for this trip and arrange my travel plans. So please just go with the flow for me at this moment. Just find something relevant that you can tell our son that isn't telling him a lie. Right now, I have to go find a way to make this time gone and lost between Jessie and me, and that promise I made up to her, and find out what it is she wants me, or rather needs me, to know. But I will find the time to deal with it. I will make it all right when I get back, I promise. Martha sighs, frustrated with the time and her position in all of this regarding Jonathan's life before her and the farm and in his ability to find a way to cope with it all and do what is right somewhere along the way. She hopes this time he really means what he said. Okay, Jonathan, you go ahead and do what you think you need to do. Do what you think is best for yourself now, and I will find something to tell our son. That isn't lying, she emphasizes. But I'm going to hold you to it. I'm going to hold you to your words this time, to your promise to tell your son everything. What you should have sat him down and told him all about years ago. So I'll end it there. I better mark that so I don't lose my spot. Come back for more. It's getting exciting as long as I can keep track of where I've read it from. This is the Smallville movie, the reunion movie, best movie, TV movie ever, like in all of fiction history. Best book, novel. Everybody's gonna love it. I'm so happy I did this for you. I'm so happy I had it in me to do it. Peace out, Superwoman, signing out from Now TV Canada.